This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, good morning. In this Business Intelligence Master program, so in today's session we will talk about Azure SQL database introduction. Okay, so we'll talk about Azure SQL database introduction. This is basically I will talk about SQL database in detail, a little bit theory we'll discuss today. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to work with SQL database. So as of now, we were working with only blob store, moving data from blob to blob, but in real time, we won't move data from blob to blob, right? So maybe we have a requirement where we need to move data from blob to SQL database to the blob. So if you learn SQL database, you also will come to know how to move data from on-premise SQL server to the cloud. So all those things you will able to understand once you understand the SQL database. Okay. So let me just discuss about SQL database. So this session is important, friends. If you're not able to understand this, please go through the session 1 or 2 times. Okay. So today we'll talk about what is relational database objects, relational database object creation syntax. Then we are talking about data types in SQL. What are the different data types we have in SQL? So I'm not going to define all the data types in SQL. I'll just define whatever data types are important for us. Next, with respect to demo, we will talk about how to create SQL database. Okay, only these things we will discuss today. Let me start with the relational database. See, I have a courses. These are the like from user perspective. User is going to like from my website. User is like going to say, I need a data factory course, and the course ID is this. Maybe he has seen some advertisement from there. He found okay, so course ID is one, course name is data factory, course duration 100 hours. So he is provided this. So this record I will store it in my table in a database. Okay, so we were storing all our data in blob storage in terms of files like CSV, Parquet, ORC, JSON, different types of file formats we will have. So in blob storage, we are storing all this data in terms of file formats. But in our SQL database, we need to store all this data in terms of tables. Okay, sorry. Next, so let's say another user came and he told course ID is 2 data breaks and course duration is 80 hours. Okay. Next, this record I need to bring and I need to insert a second record in our table. Now, if 2 people inserted, I will get the 2 records in my table. If 3 people searched for courses, so 3 records will insert into my table. Okay, understood? You understood that? So from whatever data you are typing, let's say you will go to Flipkart website and you will say, okay, so my item is laptop and quantity is 1, and this is the address. You will you will just place the order. And now multiple things will be created in backend. Order ID will be created. Order name will be taken from your item. Order date, when he has placed this order. Order quantity, how many laptops he placed. What is the item cost, item price. Okay. Next, item shipment status. So there are a lot of details about your item will be stored in a tables. How it will be stored? Flipkart website, from Flipkart website or Amazon, any website. If you look at, if you do the transaction, these details will be fetched and stored in a database. That's how the web applications are designed. That's how the web applications are developed. Okay, this is how when somebody places the order, the details will go and sit in your tables. I hope this is clear. Now, what is RDBMS? RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Okay, so we need to maintain all this data. Okay, data we need to manage. To manage data, okay, to maintain data, we need to manage. For this, we need a system. That's why this is called a database management system. In this database management systems, tables are a objects. Okay, tables. We will store data in a tables, right? So we need to make the relation between the multiple tables. Okay, we need to make the relation between the multiple tables. I will just give the example. Please, everybody think about this solution, and you need to come up with a. You just think about this problem and come up with a solution. Okay, the problem is, let's say I am Cloud Pandit. Okay, so Cloud Pandit phone number is my phone number. I am in India. My location is, maybe you can say, Bangalore. Okay, now I have these three information: Cloud Pandit phone number and Bangalore location. Now this Cloud Pandit has placed a laptop. Okay, now in a table, somebody please, one person please tell me in table what all details I am going to store. I will tell you first. I will place Cloud Pandit, customer name Cloud Pandit, customer location Bangalore, customer phone number is 8904424822, and customer has placed order is laptop, place date is this, order ID is this. So these are the 6 records I stored. Okay, 6 records I stored. Okay, again I am repeating: customer name, customer location, customer phone number, my name, my my location, my phone number, plus order ID, order name, order place date. Total 6 fields I have. No, I am not. I am not doing anything. So I'm just explaining the scenario. You need to understand. Now the question is, let's say if same Cloud Pandit has placed a mobile order, can somebody tell me what details I'm going to insert in my table?
There will be another row, Malaya, again with the same customer name, ID, phone number, and only
Please
thing
tell
will
me what
change
is
is
the
the
another.
Maybe the order
like,
number will change.
your
Except the
customer
person
number.
name
So
and
next,
phone number, everything will be different.
okay. So next, Cloud Pandit has placed some book. Okay, what all details will store?
Name, phone number,
So maybe
location,
some people are not able to. Let me just quickly explain those things to those people, because this is important, friends. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, first, okay, let me just draw some diagram here. Six fields, right? I'm just giving the 6 fields. Okay. Now you see what I'm doing here. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. So here, let's say customer ID, customer name, customer location. Okay, now you have all these things. Next, you have a order ID, order name, order ID, order name, order date. Okay. Now, one Cloud Pandit, customer ID, customer location. Let's say customer location, right? Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore. Now order ID is something one. Order name is what? Order name that let's say. Order date 2020 2021 01, maybe you can say 01 maybe 31st. Yeah, few days back, yes, place the order. Now, so for same customer, place the mobile. So order is to mobile. Okay. This is basically 0 to 0. Next, same customer has placed new order. Again, 3. So if you look at this, what is the problem that you are observing here? Same data you are repeating again and again and again. See, these 3 records you are repeating again and again and again. Instead of that, database design, how we will design the database is, we have a something called, I'll tell you, just to bring these things. Okay, here we just maintain customer ID, customer name, customer location. You just say 1 CP. And so this is my customer table where I am maintaining the customer's information. I will have another table. I will have another table where I'm going to maintain my orders. Where I'm going to maintain my orders. Okay, now you see. Now you got all these things, right? Now, but I don't have any information who has placed this order. For that, I just maintain some customer ID here. I'll say 1, 1, 1, because all these orders placed by customer ID 1. Now tomorrow, who is this customer ID 1? Who is this customer ID 1? If somebody asks you, what you need to do? You just have to take this one. You just join these two tables. Okay, there is a something called join. You need to make the relationship between these two tables. Okay, you need to make the relation between this particular column. I think, yeah. So what you need to do, from this particular column to this particular column, you need to make the relation basically. Okay, what you need to do, you need to make the relation between CID this and the CID this. If you join these two, you will get to know who is customer ID 1. Customer ID is Cloud Pandit Bangalore. You are not repeating Cloud Pandit Bangalore, phone number, other details of the customer 100 times. Just using his ID reference. Tomorrow, if you want to understand who is this customer ID 1, you need to join these two tables. That is the relation between these two tables. That is the relation between these two tables. That's what this relational it is going to talk about. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Okay, so we have a data. The data we need to manage in some system. So when we are managing in a system, we will have a multiple tables. So between those tables, we need to make the relation. Why we need to maintain the relation between the tables that you have seen? There are a lot of advantages if you maintain data in a multiple tables instead of maintaining in a single table. What is the advantage you are going to get? The advantage that you are going to get is so the data size will reduce when you have same data. If you are maintaining multiple times, there is a duplicate data, right? Duplicate data. So what it leads to the huge amount of data. Managing is difficult, and you need to pay more for storing the more data. Okay, understood? Okay, this point is very powerful. That's why I spent quite long time in this. Please confirm, friends. Everybody understood this?
Yes, Malaya. Yes, sir.
Everybody ask
Yes,
me
Malaya.
if you are not. Thanks.
Yes, Malaya.
RDBMS. RDBMS is the basis for SQL. Okay, so SQL is a structured query language that we are going to use to join these two tables to find only the particular customer's information, maybe particular country information. Okay, let's say I want the people who has placed orders from Bangalore. I want the information for the customers who has placed orders from the Andhra, something, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, something like that. You want to understand. For that, you need to apply some filter on the data on this RDBMS, on this data. If you want to do anything, you are going to use something like SQL language for doing this, some like modifications or creating the new objects or deleting the objects. If you want to perform anything on the data, we are going to use something called SQL language. Okay, and for all modern database systems like MS SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, so basically we use a SQL only. If you want to query data from SQL Server database, Oracle database, MySQL database, we are going to use a SQL only, but small syntaxes will change. Okay, next. A relational database management system is a database management system that is based on the relational model. So you have seen that is based on a relational model. So you're going to relate the tables. You're going to keep the relation between the tables. So important concepts in RDBMS are table. So I'll just talk about those things quickly. Yeah. So here, see, first I'll talk about these things. This is what? This is a table. Okay, try to understand. This is a table. Okay. What is this? Can somebody tell me what is this?
Column.
What is this? Can you tell me? Yes. So not column. See, so this is a table basically. This is another table. This is also table. Okay. Fields. Next important concept in this is field. Okay. CID is a one field. CNAME is a one field. C location is a one field. Okay. OID is one field. O name is one field. Order date is one field. So in this table, this is one field. This is another field. This is another field. Fields. These are fields. Okay. Next important one is column. Column means this entire thing is called a column. This entire thing is called a column. Okay. This entire thing is called a column. Okay. Now what is the row? Row means, say example in this table I will explain row. So this is called a row. Okay. So this is called a row. Understood? In this table is a row. Okay. Next. So you understood table, you understood field, you understood row, you understood column constraints. Okay, you understood all of this. Clear? Okay. Now you see. Yeah. So we understood table. What is table? You understood. What is field? You understood. What is row? You understood. What is column? You understood. So let's talk about what is constraint. Okay. So constraint is important. What is constraint? Let me explain you. So constraint is basically, see, constraint is basically, you can say, so order IDs must be unique. Order ID must be unique, meaning laptop order ID 1, next mobile order ID is 2, next book order ID is 3 you are giving. Okay, but let's say if you have placed some order next pen, okay, pen order should not be 1, 2, 3, it should be something unique, some 4. It should not be a duplicate ID. So for that you need to make this as a primary key. Okay, or you can make it as a unique key. There are different constraints. You can put some conditions. So based on that conditions, whenever that condition failed, a record will not insert. Record will throw error. You are trying to insert this record, but this record is having something. It is violating some condition. It is violating. So this particular record cannot be stored in this particular table. Likewise, so data will be like, we can able to maintain the correct data, we can able to insert in the right place. We can avoid the some corruption of the data if we use the constraints. Is this clear? So these are important concepts. Everybody is clear on these things, important concepts in RDBMS. Okay, fine. Let me move on.
Malaya,
Yeah.
here the syntax is different for SQL Server and MySQL. So which one will be covering in this course? Like in Azure, which will be covering SQL Server type syntax or MySQL type syntax?
Okay. So can you come again? I was like, which syntax we will use in?
Azure, in Azure Cloud, which type of syntax we'll be using? Right?
SQL only we will use. SQL is
SQL Server type of syntax.
This is SQL Server syntax we will use in Azure SQL database.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. See, what is table? The data in the RDBMS is stored in a database objects which are called a tables. Okay, the data in RDBMS is stored in a database objects which are called a tables. You understood now where I have stored all my data in a tables. So that's why in these RDBMS systems, data will be stored in a database objects. The database object is nothing but a tables. Next, these tables is basically a collection of related data entries. It consists of numerous columns and rows. So what it is saying, related data entries. Related data entries means, see, these are the different data entries. You can say, yeah. So this is the one data entry. This is the another data entry. This is the another data entry, right? So 1, 1, 1, 1. So likewise, we have a 3, but this is not the correct way. That's why you have divided into 2 parts. So this is, you can consider, this is the one entry. So one row is nothing but, see, entry is nothing to one row. You can call it as a one entry. So in this particular table, you have maintained these related columns. Okay, order ID, order name, order date, customer ID. These are the related fields. Okay, that is the meaning of related data entries. Related data entries means we are going to maintain the related data fields, columns. Okay, once we maintain those things, it consists of numerous columns and rows. So you have seen it has a multiple columns and rows in a table. Table is nothing but what? Table is nothing but a rows and columns only. Rows and columns only. Next. See example, course ID, course name, course duration. Okay, so here, yeah, so you can see there is a one column, there is another column. Okay, let me just say this is what, this is what, this is one column. Okay, this is what, this is another column, this is what, this is another column. Okay, if you consider likewise, these are columns. Let's say I want to go with rows. This is a one row. Sorry. Not good at this drawing and all, but let's see, this is the row one. Okay, this is the row one, friends. So this is the row two, the remaining one. Okay, so these are the rows. So like I know of experienced people can able to get these things quickly, but for freshers it's little bit difficult. But try to understand, friends, because I'm trying to explain from the scratch. Okay, fine. Next. So what is a row? What is a row? See, every table is broken up into smaller entities called fields. The fields in the course table consist of course ID, course name, and course duration. Field is a column in a table that is designed to maintain specific information about every record in the table. A record is also called as a row of data. So yeah, let me just explain all these points with respect to this table. Let me go from the top. Every table is broken up into smaller entities called a fields. The fields in the course table consist of course ID, course name, course duration. These are the fields. These are called fields, or you can call it as a columns. Okay, anything you can call it as. Next, a field is a column. Okay, a field is a column in the table. A field is a column in the table. So what I'm saying now, I'm saying field is nothing but a column only. I'm saying again, field is a column in the table that is designed to maintain. That is designed to maintain a specific information about every record in the table. Example, so this column is designed to store only customer IDs, course IDs, sorry, only to store course IDs, not a course names. You cannot store the course names in these columns. You can store only course IDs. What about this column? Only course names you can store. So see that every column is designed to maintain a specific information about every record in the table. So specific information, this course ID stores only course IDs. Course name will store only course names. Okay. Next, a record is also called as a row of data. A record. So that's what I'm saying. You can call it as a, see, this entire row is, you can call it as a row, or you can call it as a record. Okay, you can also call it as an entry. How many entries we have? So 2 entries in this table. How many rows we have? 2 rows. How many records we have? 2 records. So you can call, so people may call with a different names, everything is same. Record, entry, or row. A record is called as a row of data in each individual entry that exists in a table. So this is a one row, this is another row. Record is a horizontal entity in a table. So So this is the horizontal, right? This is the horizontal. So that's why it's a okay. So record or row is nothing but a horizontal entity in the table. I hope you got some clarity on this. Okay, I'm just moving on. Any questions in this? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm just moving on. Okay. Next, what is columns? We just discussed, right? A column is a vertical entity in the table that contains all information associated with a specific field in the table. Example, for example, see, this is the column 1, this is the column 2, this is the column 3. So if you want to understand more in detail, okay, what is null? So a null value in a table is a value in a field that appears to be blank, which means a field with a null value is a field with no value. Okay, so it is very important. Example, you see here, what is this 3 AWS? There is no course duration. What it indicates? This is basically nothing. We don't have any value. This is a null value. Okay, so sometimes what people will do, they won't enter. They won't see if you are not entering anything that is considered as a null. But if you are entering something, that value is considered as, if you are entering something, that value is considered as a string. If you are entering something, that value is considered as a string. Okay, there is a lot of concepts behind that, but okay, so do not confuse. So if you say something, you first try to think it as a no value. Okay, see, a null value in the table is a value in a field that appears to be blank. So it appears to be blank, which means a field with a null value is a field with no value. So if you have a null value field, this particular course duration here is null. What it means? Value is a field with no value. So there is no value at this particular cell. It is very important to understand that null value is different than a zero value or a field that contains spaces. So sometimes what happens, there will be space, there will be a zero values. Okay, so all those things I will cover at the like in the future sessions. I cannot explain everything at once. Okay, but as the session goes, you will come to know. So some people will simply put like without writing anything, they will just start and end the colon. So if they start and close this colon, so empty string basically. Okay, so we'll have other values. A field with null value is the one that has been left blank during a record creation. So when they are inserting the record, so maybe let's say when I am creating courses in our website, so I don't know course duration of the AWS because I have not prepared any documentation, right? So in that case, I don't know course duration. I just leave this as a blank. I'll just leave this as a blank. Okay, that's why I just left this as a blank. Next, this is none. Okay. Next, SQL constraints. Constraints are the rules enforced on data columns in a table. These are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. This ensures the accuracy and reliability of data in the database. Example, this is what I was talking about, right? So here, if you focus on these particular things, right? So if you put any like constraints, example, order ID must be integer. So if I put some conditions, what happens? It ensures it is going to store only customer IDs. It ensures that it is storing only customer IDs. So customer name. It ensures it is storing only names. It ensures it is storing only dates. It ensures it is storing customer IDs. Okay, order ID, order name, order date, and the customer ID. Okay. So likewise, we have a 3 columns. Likewise, we have a 3 columns. Sorry, you have a 4 columns and a 3 records. But so out of these 4 columns, I'm going to put some condition on this particular order ID. Order ID must be unique. So nobody can able to insert a duplicate record in this particular table because I'm going to put some rule. I'm saying customer ID should be unique, always a new number. It should not be same number again. Okay, in that case, the accuracy and the reliability, we can able to trust this particular data. Okay, this data is correct. There is no duplicate data. Yes, we've set some rules, limitations. Okay, so we have done all these things with the help of a constraints. With the help of a constraints, you are able to do all this things. Next. So what you need to understand here, we have a different constraints. Let me just explain. See, not null constraint, default constraints, unique constraint, primary key, foreign key, check constraints, index constraint. So you have a different constraints. Not null constraint, if you put in that particular column example, I was showing some courses table. In courses table, you have seen something called course duration is null. Okay, but if I say course duration column not null constraint, then customer cannot insert that AWS record. Okay, let me just go back and show you. So here you have a null value. So I am able to insert course ID is 3, course name is AWS, course duration I'm just leaving it as a blank. Okay, the reason is there is no constraint, there is nobody stopping me to keep this null value. But if you want to say, hey, whoever is not mentioning course duration, I don't want to accept that particular record in my table, then you can put a some constraint, course duration column constraint is not null constraint. If you put not null constraint, then it ensures that you are storing the data, you are storing the actual data without leaving it as blank. Okay, default constraint, if user is not providing value, I want to provide some default value. Let's say if user is not providing the course duration, by default I will say 70 hours, by default I will say 70 hours, something like that. If you want to maintain so different constraints, you can maintain unique constraints. It ensures that all values in column are different. Primary key, uniquely identify each row record in a database table. There is quite similar features with respect to the unique constraint and the primary key. But unique keys, we can have a multiple unique keys in a table, but in primary key we will have a single primary key in a table. Okay, unique constraint will accept the null, primary key will not accept the null. So these are the some of the interview questions people will ask. Even though you are Azure developer, people will ask SQL questions. In SQL question, one of the SQL question in interview question is, what is the difference between unique constraint and the primary key constraint? So people will ask, note down this particular question. Okay, so other things, foreign key, this is basically for the relation. See, when you're making the relation, what is primary key, what is foreign key, let me show you. Okay, so this is called a yeah, so this is called a foreign key, this is called a primary key. Primary key is nothing but a unique values. Foreign key means this is basically related with this table. Okay, so in this table you have a primary key, but here it is a foreign key. Foreign key will accept the like multiple values. Here, let me show you that. Second. See, a foreign key uniquely identifies a row record in any other database table. So we are going to identify the another like particular record uniquely in another table. Example, see here. So you want to understand, like, let's say if you focus on this particular second record, who has placed the order? So like Cloud Pandit has placed, and from which location is from Bangalore. Okay, so if you want to identify something uniquely, we can use the foreign key here also. This is basically when you are making the relation check constraint. So you want to put some condition. If that condition is, example, when I'm storing customer IDs must be even number. You can check that and you can do that. Okay, so index is basically to create the index. Let's say if you look at any school textbooks, right? So people will give the index page. What that index page will talk about. So index page will give you which lesson is starting from which page. So instead of going through all the pages, you can just move the little bit more pages at once. So quickly you can able to reach that particular concept, right? So likewise in database also we have index which helps you to identify your data. Where is your data? Okay. Common user data types is, these are the common user data types. You need to be aware of these things because commonly we are going to use these things. date time. Okay, so let me just form my queue. See date time. Let me just quickly show you those things. So let me insert the new column at the right. Okay, try to understand these things. This is the examples. Okay, example how the data will appear. See, date time means 2020 10, meaning date and time both will come. So if you want to store date and time both in a, sorry. See here what you are storing? You're storing only date. Then it is called a date data type. If you are storing date and a time, this is called a date time. Date plus time we have. Likewise, when you define date plus date time, you need to store. Okay, when you have only date, okay, only date you need to give. Varchar means any name. Example, let's say Rama. Okay, something. N varchar. Suppose we have some special character. Okay, you have some special character, something like that. You can able to use. Okay, int. Not only this, any you have for different special characters. If you are going to get any character, integer means any number. Okay, big int means example your phone number, 10-digit number. It's a big number. Okay, then you need to use a big int. Okay, these are the examples that you can try to understand. Okay, date time means date and time. Date means only date. Varchar means and varchar means special characters. Int means number. Okay, big int means like phone number, big numbers. I hope you are clear on this. Let's move on. Yeah, SQL. Yeah, so I'm going to start with some SQL part now. So before that, any questions?
Yeah, SQL is a case sensitive language.
No, case insensitive. SQL is the case insensitive.
Okay.
Okay, so some freshers don't know what is case sensitive to insensitive, right? See, friends. So when you are, let's say, when I want to get customer ID, basically you will write some statement, right? So the select statements you need to write. I'll tell you. Okay, so we'll configure. Okay. Basically you'll write like this: select CID comma CNAME. So now what is case sensitive? Case sensitive means in the table if you have a CID, small letters you need to put CID. If you have CNAME. If case insensitive means capital CID I've used. So here you have a small CID letters with capital CID. See big numbers, CID capital letters. Okay. So if you're using this, here small letters, here a like uppercase, here lowercase, here uppercase, right? So you can use this case instant to means it will understand. Okay, it doesn't matter what case you are using, it will understand. So SQL is a case instance too. You can use a small CID. Okay, you can use a small CID, or you can also use a capital CID. Anything you can use. Okay, next. Okay, I'll just move on. See, all the SQL statement starts with any of the keywords like select. Select is basically for selecting the data, for retrieving the data, for fetching the data from the database. Insert. Insert is basically you are going to use for uploading some data, inserting some data, adding some data. See, these are the different terminology I am using. Whoever is comfortable with whatever word you can able to understand. Insert means adding, uploading, inserting the data. Update means you are updating the table. You are, let's say, you will go to bank and you will say, hey, my phone number last time, so there is a mistake, so I don't know whose phone number was there with my account. I'm not getting the updates. Can you update my phone number? Hey, I see like in Aadhaar my date of birth is wrong, can you update? So what they do, So they will just request for the update. These things will change in a government database. Okay, central database. Government will maintain some database for all the citizens, right? So in the database, they are going to update your date of birth, your names, and other stuff. Insert means when you create new Aadhaar card, when you just apply for new Aadhaar card, your data will be inserted, will be added into the government database. Select means first they want to understand whether whatever with your name, with your details, is there any record existed or not. I am going to check it, select it and check it. Okay, so let's say if somebody is expired and what you want to do, you want to delete that particular person from the different cards. Maybe you can say a ration card, you can say Aadhaar card, voter ID. So different things we have. So you want to delete that particular person from your family records, or you want to delete that particular entire database record about him, right? So you can just use a delete. Alter is basically these are in a these are not in a these are not in our level, not in a customer level. This is basically in a table. Government is maintaining only customer names and customer Aadhaar, but next day customers location also government want to maintain. Then they will add the new column. So then they need to change the existing table structure from 2 columns to the 3 columns. Then they will use alter. Okay, so you can change the table name, they can change the column names. Okay, alter. Drop, you can use the drop basically to drop any table, or if you want to drop any column name, you want to delete some of the column or table. Create, if you want to create any table, or you want to, yeah, if you want to create table or view or any stored procedure, you are going to use a create. Next we have something called use. Okay, so you have multiple databases, you need to say which one to use, okay. So likewise we have all the statements, these all statements you can use. I will show you how you are going to use all of this. Okay, let me just quickly go on. The most important point to be noted here is that SQL is case insensitive. Okay, this is what I have updated. Okay, that's what I mentioned. Alter is basically in a column level and table level, or view or stored procedure. If you want to alter, update is basically inside the table. Any record, if you want to update, you are going to update. Okay, example, let's say what I want to do, I want to add one more column here. In that case, alter. I want to delete this column, alter. So instead of that, so in this particular table, I just want to update maybe this particular date or customer ID which is taken wrong. I want to update. So this is what update. Update means records you are going to update, something you are going to update here. So alter means you delete this, or delete this entire table itself, you delete it, or you just delete only this record. Oh, sorry. Alter means, yeah. So alter means not deletion. Alter means remove this column. Okay. To alter means you are altering this particular table structure. Remove this. Okay. Add new column. Okay. Change the data type of this particular column. So all those things will go as a alter. Okay. Clear? Whoever asked this. Vinay, clear? So multiple. Okay. Any other questions, friends? Next. Syntax.
Malaya, what's
So
the difference
first, see,
between delete and drop?
see, delete and so if you
Drop.
delete, you can able to roll back. If you drop it, you cannot roll back. So that is also one of the important question. I'll just share more points with references.
With delete, you only delete the rows of a table. Whereas drop, you use to drop objects. You know, when you want to remove a table, you use a drop command. And to remove some rows, you
Correct.
will use the
Okay. Delete is at row level.
So yes, so you can do that. And one more thing is you can just use delete also to delete your table. Okay, so now yeah, so what will happen is if you use delete, you can able to roll back those changes whatever you have done. But if you use drop, you cannot roll back those changes. I will show you those things. Okay, fine. See, I'll just cover whatever is important for us now. So create a table. See, create table name, column 1 data type, column 2 data type, column 3 data type, column n data type. This is the syntax. Okay, example, I want to create a customer table, okay, with a customer ID, customer name, and the customer location. You need to say create table customer, column 1 is customer ID. What is the data type of ID? I want to store only numbers. You need to say integer type. Column 2 customer name, I will say string type. Column 3 I will say customer location, string type. Inserted date, record load date, date time. You can say date and the time you want to store when this particular record stored. Okay, likewise you need to form the table creation. Now I want to insert records. The syntax is insert into table name. Okay, what are the columns we have in that table? So what values you want to insert? Okay, so we discussed we have a customer table with customer ID, customer name, customer location, and the load date. You need to insert into customer ID, comma, customer name, comma, customer location, comma, load date. Values are 1. Rama is from Bangalore, comma, and his loaded date is today date time. Something like that. You need to insert the data. Select the data from table. How you will select? Select call 1, comma, call 2, comma, column n from the table. I want to read it. I'm reading the data. Select column 1, comma, column 2, comma, column 3 from table. Okay, so you just have to select this particular data. Okay, clear? This is clear. This is the important. Please look at this particular syntax.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, clear. Okay, fine. Let me move on next. So this is a customer table. Okay, so this is basically what I'm doing in this customer table. I have these records. Select customer underscore name, comma, city from customers. Okay, select customer underscore name, comma, city from customer table. So I want to select customer name, comma, city from this particular table. Then you will get these two columns only. Okay, you will get these two columns only. Okay, clear, friends? Next. Select a star from customer. Star indicates all the columns I want to select. All columns. Next. Select distinct city from customers. What it indicates. So I'm just selecting the city column from this customer table and distinct city values. Distinct city values means what? Distinct means unique values. We have a Delhi, Hyderabad, Delhi, Pune. Four times we have. Then you need to say you need to use what? You need to basically get the unique values. So Delhi only one time we get in our output. Okay. This is how you can be able to use. I hope these are clear. So delete statement, I have not maintained, I have not prepared any slides for that. So yes, I said, if you want to delete any records, you can use the delete. You can use the delete if you want to record anything. Example, if you want to delete customer 2, you need to say delete from this customer table where cust ID equal to 2. So if you want to delete entire table, you simply say delete or delete from customers. That's all. There is no condition. Then it will delete entire records. Understood? Fine. Next. Customer. See, select star from customer where skills equal to Azure and city equal to Bangalore. So then what I'm getting this record. So I'm just selecting all the records from the customer table where skills equal to Azure and city equal to Bangalore. Can you check skills equal to Azure? Skill equal to Azure is there are 2, but end condition. If these 2 conditions match, then only that record will come. In that row, you check skills Azure, city Bangalore. No, this will not be eligible. Skill is Azure, city is Bangalore. No, not eligible. Skill Azure, city is Bangalore. Yes, this record is eligible. You understood? So you see here, city is like skill is Azure, city is Bangalore. I am looking for. So this record is not eligible. So skill is Azure, city is Bangalore. I am looking for. This is not eligible. Skill is Azure, city is Bangalore. I am looking for. This record is eligible. This record is eligible. The skill is Azure, city is Bangalore. I am looking for. This is also not eligible. So only record which I am going to get in my output is this record. Okay, clear? That's what I got here. Next you can see. So select a star from customer where skill equal to Azure or skill equal to AWS. What it indicates is if skill is Azure, okay, get this entire record. The skill is Azure, get this entire record. Or means if any condition is true, you need to get the record. So if the skill is Azure, get that record. If the skill is AWS, this record also we need to get. This record also we need to get. Okay, these 2 records we need to get. Clear?
Yes, Malya.
Next. Yes, tell me. Fine. So select a star from customer where not set equal to Azure. Sorry, not set equal to Azure. Yeah, can you tell me not set equal to Azure? Do we have anything? Not set equal to Azure. No. So what is my result? I think there is a mistake here. Let me just correct it and come back to you. Yeah, can you tell me now? Can you tell me now what I will get here? See, so not city equal to Pune means except Pune. See, not city Pune. If the city is Pune, remove that. Apart from that, any other things you have, you need to get it. Example, if you look at here, you have city Pune, right? So except a not city Pune means except this record, you need to get remaining records. These 3. Okay? You need to basically get these 3 records. That's what I got there. Okay, clear? Next. So now let's talk about joins. These are important. Let's say you have orders information, you have a customers table. Now, can you tell me who has placed the orders here? Customer 2 is appears here. So if you want to get that, you need to what you need to do, you need to select a star from order. So from this table, okay, inner join basically talks about the common records between the 2 tables. Okay, on what condition? On order table customer ID should match with customer table customer ID. If this table, see, yes, so yeah, anyhow I just prepared that. You see so here we have a 2. Okay, here we have a 2, here we have a 2, which is a matching record, so only that record you will get. See, 21038, this one to customer Krishna Maria Jalan. So meaning we'll come to know this second order is placed by which user. This is the user who has placed this order. Okay, Some spelling mistakes and all we have. Let me just correct those things. Okay. So in a join customer, so on customer ID equal to customer ID, so you'll get the common records. Friends, you see the common records you'll get. Okay, 210. This is the common record. Okay, this is the common record. I hope you understood. This is the common record. Okay, next. Now let's talk about left join. You have something called left join. Okay, orders table customer ID. So you have something called right. Okay, I am applying the right join. Right join, left join have a different. We'll talk about one time. Right join. So when you say right join, what it will do? So orders are customer. Which table is the right table? This side. This is called a left or this is called a left? Or this is called a right or this is called a right. So remember, this is called a right, this is a right, this is a left. Okay, so this side which table is there? Orders table. This side which table is there? Customer table. So when you apply a right join, so customer table all records will come along with the common records with the order table. What it means, now you see the result will come to what it is. Now I'm just joining these things based on what condition. See, this order table customer ID should match with customer table customer ID. 2 is the matching records. So 1 and 3 are the unmatched records. See, 1 and 3 are the unmatched records here. Okay, this 1 and 3. So now in my results, if you see, this is the common record. This is the common record, which is the orders and the customer table common record. These are the only records which are available in a right table, right side, because you are using a right join. You are using a right join. That's why right table. What is the right table? Customer table. What is the left table? Orders table. Right join, when you apply a right table, remaining records will get. That's what I got. 103. I hope you are clear. If you already know SQL, so yes, I know this is the just a refreshment for you, but people whoever don't know, please try to answer these questions, friends. Now instead of right join, if I apply left join, so do you think I will get all the records from the customer table or all the records from the
only records from the left side nunchi.
Order table.
correct? I'll just okay, let's see now. I'll just okay, you see here, we have orders table, we have a customer table. So now when you say left join, so on same thing, so you need to match the matching records to 37, 77 are the unmatched records. Okay, 37 and 77 are the unmatched records. When you see the results, you can see this is the common record. Okay, 37 and 77 are the unmatched records from the left table. So this is the left, this is the right again. So in this left table is what orders. When you apply left join, all the records from the orders table, common records from order and customer table, both you get. See, common record, this is the common record from both the tables. 37, 77 are the only records which are available in a order table. Okay, next. So there is something called full join. So this is also full join means what it will do. Doesn't matter. It will bring the, see, this is the matching records. Unmatched records are 37, 77. Unmatched records are 1 and 3. When you get result, common records will get 2 is the common record. Okay, 2 is the common record which will get, and 37, 77 which are the only records which are available in left table. 1 and 3 which are the records only available in a right table. Understood, friends? This is a full means full
Yes,
common is left plus. Okay, you understood. Okay, I think that's all slides I have for today. So tomorrow so let me just show you how you can create a SQL database, SQL server. Okay, so come here, search for SQL database, click on SQL database, click add to create the SQL database. It's a subscription. Okay, so you know resource group we need to create. Let me attach to this resource group which is existing. If you want to create new one, this is a database. See, so whenever you talk about database and servers, you need to think about a hotel. So in hotel, where is all our food? All our food is there in the kitchen. If you go to hotel, so who is going to bring the food for you? Servant. Okay, what the servant will do, he will take the request. So as per your request, he will go to the kitchen and he will bring the food for you. In the same way, in a database, we'll have tables. So from which table you want to get the data, what data you want to get, you need to talk to the server. You need to talk to the server. Server will go to the database. And server will bring the data for you. Now, can one server go to the multiple kitchens, can bring the data or not? Yes. Single server can go to the multiple databases to bring the data. Remember, so that's why we can have multiple databases under a single server. So I'm going to create a database first. So database name will say Cloud Pandit DB. I want to create a server. See, database, here I will store my data. I need a servant whom I can able to make request. He will take my request and he will bring data from database. So Cloud Pandit SQL Server 0203. So today data I'm given. Okay. This is a unique name. So it should not accept everybody request. This servant should not accept everybody request. Whoever has the token, only that person. In the same way, whoever has the correct username and password, only those people request it should accept. So I'm giving the username and password here. Give username and password, click OK. Okay. Then what you need to, so remaining things, do not worry, click review plus create. So this is a $15 you need to pay per month. Click create. So that's all. Your SQL database will be created in 2 minutes. I think it will take some 3 to 4 minutes, but it will be created. That's all you need to do for today. Okay. Okay. Now, so before you come to the next session, I will request you to go to Google. There is something called Azure Data Studio. Okay. Just to say Azure Data Studio download, click on this. go to any Microsoft documentation. I come down. See, this is basically for the Windows. Just click on user installer for Windows. See, it is downloading. Okay, it is downloading some 100 MB, right? I'm just canceling for you. You just download, double click on that. It will install. Okay, so this is a tool. Basically, this is a kind of this tool. You just open this tool. I will show you. By using this tool, we are going to connect to our SQL database for creating the tables, for inserting data, for accessing data, for doing anything. We are going to use the Azure Data Studio. What we are going to use? Azure Data Studio. So this is the link. If you want directly, let me give this link. So click on this link, it will download directly. Okay, so I already have this particular Data Studio. I'm just opening it. See, this is open. Now, if you want to connect, click on this. So you need to give the server name, username and password. Okay, server name you need to give, username, password, database name, all these things you need to give here. All these things you need to give here. Okay, clear these things you need to give here. It's clear.
What is this
So
data
tomorrow
studio?
I will show you how you can connect. So it's kind of SSMS tool, but now industry is using Data Studio. Azure Data Studio. This is the another tool which you can use to connect to the databases. See, my database server is ready. Go to resource now. Go to resource. See, this is server and database, right? See, you just take this database name. Yeah, this is your server name. Okay, server name is this. Take this server name. Otherwise, just copy this. Come here. The server name you copy here. Next, username and password which are given, I need to here give here. Database name I need to give you. Database is what this. Click connect. What it is saying, you need to add the client IP. So cancel this. Go back to your server. First thing that you need to do is you need to enable your firewall. Otherwise, it will not allow everybody to connect. Click add client IP. My IP. Turn on other Azure services can able to connect to the Azure database. Click save. I'll discuss these two again. So once you're done with these two, click connect. It will connect automatically. It will not ask IP and all those things. This time it will connect directly. Okay, so it is a green. It is a green. It is connected. Now you can right click on this. You can right click on this. We have something called new query. If you want to fire any queries, if you want to create any database, everything you can able to do it here. We'll discuss those things tomorrow, friends. Okay, that's all for today. Any questions? No questions. That's
So
all
this
for
is
today.
the tool, right? To you access the SQL server created in Azure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You can use SSMS, that is also people will use in the industry, SQL Server Management Studio, but it is not, it is little bit more data like heavyweight. Okay, it's a lightweight tool you can use. It's a just 100 MB. It will be easy for you to handle. Okay. Okay. Any questions? That's all. Yeah. Tell me quickly. See.
Well, this is an open source.
Yes. You no need to make any payment. Okay.
Okay.
See, open source is the open source meaning is different. Okay, so open source you cannot say open source. Tools are not open source. Okay. Thank you. I will discuss those things later.